Today I'm going to take on a topic that has been in discussion quite a lot in social media and in the news and all over, and that is the concept of your body being a reflection and expression of who you are. So, for example, people who are born as a specific gender who identify as the opposite gender or as having no gender. Now, I'm only going to focus on one aspect of this. So this is not a comprehensive discussion. Okay, so let me say that first of all. The aspect that I want to take on is that belief that so many people have that my inner experience is going to change when I change my outer physical body. So this is not just to do with things like sex changes. This is also now when you look at people who undergo plastic surgery to alter their appearance and things like that, as one example, or people who put on makeup, or even something as mundane as dyeing your hair. Like, new look, new me. But then after a few days, that newness wears off and all of the same stuff comes back. All of the same self-judgments, all of the same experiences and feelings of being uncomfortable in your body, of maybe it's like, this is not who I am, or what I look like doesn't reflect who I want to be. Or I wish I was thinner, I wish I was fatter, I wish I was taller, I wish I was shorter, I wish I had longer fingers, or a smaller nose, or straighter teeth, or I wish I had a penis, or I wish I had a vagina, or all of these things. So my question is, does our physical appearance, do our bodies define and determine what our internal experience is going to be like? And do they define and determine who we are and the level to which we can express ourselves and the level to which we can be ourselves? Because I'm seeing so often that people believe that changing our bodies or changing the way that we look is going to change who we are to some degree. It's going to change how we feel about ourselves to some degree. Like, if my body changes, then maybe I'm finally going to accept myself. Now, if we look at something like anorexia as an example, all the different eating disorders, the self-image, the distorted self-image issues that have become quite common, especially in first world countries, especially in westernized civilizations, where people, that's in this example, they starve themselves or they purge in order to lose weight, to be skinny, to be what they perceive as attractive, to be good enough in their eyes. But because of the dysfunctional self-image, the dysfunctional and distorted view of self that is wrapped up in the whole thing, even people who are super skinny, who have zero body fat, still believe so strongly that they're too fat, they're too big, it's not good enough, they're not good enough, they're not thin enough, they could do more, they need to work out more, they need to eat less. The issue is not physical. The issue is not what we actually look like. The issue is not the physical manifestation here in my body. The issue is within me, how I see myself, how I perceive myself, the standards I have set for myself, the distorted view I have of myself, the the distorted belief and value system that I have that is tied into things like physical appearance, that is tied into my self-worth, my self-value. That's where the issues are. And those, unfortunately, are not the issues that are being addressed. The issues that are being addressed are the symptoms, are the expressions of those source issues, like, for example, eating disorders, or having a sex change, or having reconstructive surgery. That's not going to change the core issues of how we are seeing ourselves, how we are valuing ourselves, how we are judging ourselves compared to other people, the standards that we have set for ourselves, the value that we have put into things like appearance, the value that we have put into physical bodies in terms of what we should look like or how I should feel in my body, when at the end of the day the value that we have placed in physical appearance and in just the simplicity of our bodies is so out of context and so unnecessary. For example, like believing that we can only really be ourselves or really express ourselves if we look a certain way, or if we have certain physical features, when in truth it's not about what we look like. It's about how we choose to express ourselves, how we choose to actually physically live, how we choose to see ourselves. So what value are we placing within our lives, within our bodies, and within how we see ourselves and each other? And is that actually a reflection of what's really going on, or are we just trying to cover up the real issues? The real issues being our relationships with ourselves. The fact that we are trying to fix our self-relationships by changing our looks, by having more money, by having new relationships, by all of these different things that we do to try and cope and compensate for the way that we feel. But at the end of the day, we always go back to feeling that way. It's like we look for these fixes that don't actually address the issue. So when are we actually going to start addressing the real issues? When are we going to start acknowledging that there are real issues, and that those issues stem from us, from who we are and how we have been living, how we've been living within ourselves? That reflects also in our world system, that the issues are not within the systems of, for example, capitalism or communism, or in the economy, or in the way that we produce and sell goods. It's who we are within the systems that we've created. If we were to live differently, then a lot of the things that don't work today could very possibly actually work and could benefit everyone. But the problem is us. It's always me. How am I living within this system? How am I making this system function? So everything is connected, because everything comes back to who we are, how we live. So, if you have any questions or comments, you can leave a message or a comment. If you'd like to support me, you can do so on Patreon. If you have any particular requests, please let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.